Studying philosophy can be both enriching and deeply unsettling. When someone begins to explore philosophical ideas seriously, they are suddenly exposed to a wide range of perspectives about truth, morality, religion, knowledge, and human existence. Thinkers such as Plato, Aristotle, René Descartes, Friedrich Nietzsche, and Jean-Paul Sartre all offer powerful but often conflicting views about reality and how one ought to live. For a beginner, this flood of contradictory ideas can feel overwhelming. Instead of clarity, one may experience confusion and frustration. Before studying philosophy, many people hold beliefs without examining them closely. These beliefs may come from family, culture, religion, or personal experience. Philosophy challenges these assumptions. It asks difficult questions and exposes weaknesses in arguments that once seemed obvious. However, it does not always provide simple replacements. As a result, a person may feel intellectually destabilized. Old beliefs no longer feel secure, yet new beliefs have not fully formed. This transitional state can create emotional and psychological tension. Another difficulty arises when philosophical study begins to shape one's identity. For example, someone who studies ethics deeply and strives to become morally serious may grow increasingly frustrated with injustice and wrongdoing in the world. Someone persuaded by atheist arguments may feel impatient with religious beliefs. On the other hand, someone convinced by religious philosophy may become frustrated with secular society. In each case, philosophical education sharpens perception. It makes contradictions, hypocrisy, and disagreement more visible. While this increased awareness can be intellectually stimulating, it can also lead to alienation and irritation toward others. The problem often lies not in philosophy itself, but in studying it without a clear objective. Historically, philosophy was not merely an academic exercise. Socrates treated it as a way of life, a method for examining oneself and seeking virtue. Epictetus viewed philosophy as training for inner strength and resilience. Immanuel Kant aimed to establish moral principles grounded in reason. For these thinkers, philosophy had a practical purpose: to help individuals live well and cultivate integrity. In contrast, when philosophy is approached only as a collection of competing theories, it can become a source of endless debate without personal grounding. Without a clear aim, students may feel lost among arguments and counter-arguments. Frustration arises because philosophy destabilizes beliefs without providing emotional or ethical stability. This is why it is important to approach philosophical education with a constructive objective. One possible objective is ethical integrity. If the goal of studying philosophy is to become more internally consistent, honest, and morally grounded, then conflicting ideas become tools for refinement rather than threats. Instead of adopting ideas merely to oppose others, one evaluates them carefully, integrating what strengthens character and discarding what does not align with reason and conscience. Ethical integrity provides stability amid intellectual diversity. When beliefs and actions align, mental conflict decreases. One may still disagree with others, but frustration becomes more measured and thoughtful rather than reactive. Philosophy then becomes a practice of self-development rather than a weapon for judgment. Ultimately, philosophy increases awareness, and increased awareness can initially be uncomfortable. It reveals complexity where one once saw simplicity. However, if studied with the intention of cultivating moral character and psychological balance, philosophy can support mental well-being rather than harm it. The key is not merely to accumulate ideas, but to use them responsibly, with the aim of becoming a more coherent and ethically grounded person.